Ever wondered how to make the best stroganoff at home? Today we're diving into the world of this classic dish that has captured the hearts and taste buds of people all over the globe. Originating from the frosty landscapes of Russia, stroganoff is a testament to the country's love for rich, hearty flavors. Its humble beginnings can be traced back to 19th century Russian nobility, but its simplicity and deliciousness have allowed it to transcend borders and become a staple in many international cuisines. This dish is the perfect starting point for beginner chefs. Why? Because it combines the basics of cooking, sautéing, reducing, and simmering into one delightful dish. Plus, it's flexible. You can make it with beef, chicken, or even mushrooms for a vegetarian twist. So, buckle up your apron strings because by the end of this video, you will master the art of making the perfect stroganoff at home. The magic of a great stroganoff lies in its ingredients. Let's begin with the star of the show, the beef. A good cut of beef is essential for a hearty stroganoff. I recommend using a well-marbled sirloin or tenderloin. The marbling keeps the beef juicy while cooking, and the tenderloin, as the name suggests, ensures a tender bite. Next up, we have onions. Onions are like the unsung heroes of the culinary world, adding depth and sweetness to the dish. For our stroganoff, we want finely chopped onions. They blend well with the other ingredients and help to create a rich and flavorful sauce. Mushrooms, the earthy delight, are another key ingredient. They add a unique texture and a delicious umami flavor to the stroganoff. You can use any variety you like, but white or cremini mushrooms are generally preferred for their robust flavor. Now let's talk about sour cream. It's the ingredient that gives the stroganoff its signature tang and creamy texture. A good quality sour cream will result in a smooth and rich sauce that perfectly coats the beef and mushrooms. Butter is another ingredient that contributes to the creaminess of the dish, but it also serves another purpose. It helps to sauté the onions and mushrooms, bringing out their flavors and aromas. Unsalted butter is usually the best choice as it allows you to control the saltiness of the dish. Next, we have beef broth. It not only adds moisture to the dish, but also enhances the beefy flavor. A good quality beef broth will make a noticeable difference to your stroganoff. Finally, we have mustard. It might seem like an odd ingredient, but it adds a hint of sharpness that balances the richness of the dish. A touch of Dijon mustard works beautifully in a stroganoff. With these ingredients at hand, you are ready to embark on the journey of making the best stroganoff. The journey to a delicious stroganoff starts with the right preparation. And in the spirit of that truth, let's dive into preparing each of our ingredients. First up, we have our beef. Any good stroganoff starts with quality beef. For this recipe, we're using sirloin, although you can also use ribeye or tenderloin. You'll want to slice your beef into thin, bite-sized strips. Try to cut against the grain, as this will make your meat more tender once cooked. Remember, the thinner your slices, the quicker they will cook, and the more flavors they will absorb. After the beef, let's move on to our vegetables, the onions and the mushrooms. Start with the onions. You'll want to peel them, then chop them into small, fine pieces. This will allow the onions to melt into our sauce, giving it a wonderful depth of flavor without overpowering the dish. Next, we'll tackle the mushrooms. You can use any variety you like, but button or cremini mushrooms work particularly well in a stroganoff. You'll want to clean your mushrooms first, then slice them thin. Mushrooms act like little sponges, soaking up the flavors in our dish, so by slicing them thin, we're maximizing their flavor-absorbing potential. Now let's turn our attention to our sauce ingredients, the sour cream and mustard. These two ingredients are key to that classic stroganoff tang. You'll want to take your sour cream and mustard and mix them together in a bowl. Stir until they are well combined and set aside. This mixture will be added in later to give our stroganoff its distinctive creamy, tangy flavor. Finally, let's not forget about seasoning our ingredients. Season the beef with salt and pepper, and do the same for the mushrooms. This will ensure every component of our dish is flavorful. Preparation is not just about chopping and slicing, but also about organizing your workspace. Keep your ingredients close at hand and your tools even closer. This will save you time and make the cooking process smoother. And there you have it. Your beef is sliced, your onions and mushrooms are chopped, and your sour cream and mustard are mixed and ready to go. You've seasoned your ingredients, and your kitchen workspace is organized and ready for action. This may seem like a lot, but trust me, the effort you put into preparing your ingredients will pay off tenfold in the flavor of your finished stroganoff. With these prepared ingredients, you are set to start cooking. So sharpen your kitchen knives, put on your favorite apron, and let's get ready to make some magic in the kitchen with our next step. Cooking the stroganoff. Now comes the exciting part, cooking the stroganoff. Let's start with sautéing the beef. Make sure your pan is nice and hot, then add a drizzle of oil. Now, add your beef, being careful not to overcrowd the pan. We want to achieve a nice golden brown sear on our beef, and overcrowding could lead to steaming instead. Take your time, turning the pieces occasionally until they're beautifully browned all over. Once done, take the beef out and set it aside. Next up, onions. In the same pan, toss in your sliced onions. There's no need to rush here. Let the onions sauté gently, stirring occasionally until they become sweet and caramelized. This process may take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, but trust me, the flavor you'll get is worth every second. Now it's time for the mushrooms. Add them to the pan with the onions. As the mushrooms cook, they'll release their juices, adding another layer of flavor to our dish. Let them cook until they're golden and tender, which should take about 5 minutes. Now we're going to add the beef back into our pan, along with any juices that might have collected. These juices are packed with flavor and will make our stroganoff even more delicious. It's time to introduce the broth to our pan party. Pour it in and let everything simmer together. This is where the magic happens. As the stroganoff simmers, the flavors from the beef, onions, and mushrooms meld together, creating a rich, hearty base for our sauce. Let it simmer for about 20 minutes, or until the beef is tender and the flavors are well combined. While that's happening, let's prepare our final touch, the sour cream and mustard mixture. In a bowl, mix together your sour cream and mustard until well combined. This mixture will give our stroganoff its signature tangy creaminess. Once the stroganoff has simmered to perfection, it's time to add our sour cream and mustard mixture. Stir it in and let it cook for another few minutes until the sauce is creamy and luscious. Be sure to taste and adjust the seasoning if needed. It's important to remember that cooking isn't just about following a recipe to a T. It's about tasting, adjusting, and making the dish your own. So feel free to add more or less of anything according to your preference. And there you have it. The rich, creamy, hearty stroganoff is ready to be served. The beef is tender, the onions and mushrooms have lent their flavors beautifully, and the sour cream and mustard mixture has tied everything together into a creamy, tangy, delicious sauce. And voila, you have cooked a delicious stroganoff. The perfect stroganoff deserves a perfect presentation, and of course, the ideal accompaniments to enhance its flavors. Traditionally, stroganoff is served over egg noodles or rice. Choose whichever you prefer, or even alternate between the two for variety. When plating, a sprinkle of finely chopped parsley over the top adds a burst of color and a fresh edge to balance the rich, creamy sauce. It's all about that contrast, you see. As for side dishes, a simple green salad with a tangy vinaigrette complements the stroganoff beautifully. Crusty bread is also a great choice to mop up any leftover sauce. And if you're feeling adventurous, try pairing it with some pickled cucumbers or a beetroot salad for a touch of Eastern European authenticity. So, whether it's a cozy family dinner or a dinner party with friends, this stroganoff recipe is sure to impress. There you have it, a step-by-step guide to making the best stroganoff at home. Enjoy your meal.